friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today I'm providing you with a video called These Are the Droids You're Looking For. Now, the purpose of this is to really say, one, thank you for those of you who responded to my question at the end of the video, my last video, what droids do you want to see in the game? Now, there's only one real parameter that I requested or asked of you, and that was to have droids, or to come up with droids that had some kind of presence already in the game, or a faction that had a presence that was already in the game. So we don't have a New Republic faction, so droids from the New Republic Legends or New Canon wouldn't necessarily fall within that. Yuuzhan Vong droids, if there were any. I don't remember there being any, but I don't remember. Those types of things, not here. But, you know, Imperial droids, Rebel droids, all that. And these are the responses that you guys gave me. That what I want to do in this video, like I said, is just introduce these droids that you guys brought up. And now some of you are going to agree wholeheartedly with this. Some of you are going to be like, no, I completely disagree. That's wrong. Some of these I think were being serious, and some of them would just be kind of fun. But with that, I want to go ahead and start with the Death Star. Now, the Death Star, clearly you guys are like, that's stupid, the Death Star's not a droid. But here's the thing, right? In one of, I think it was episode 8, the novelization, there's a moment when BB-8 as a droid is talking to Poe Dameron's ship, and the ship is complaining. The ship is like a sentient droid. So it's possible, if Poe Dameron's ship is sentient, that the Death Star was also sentient, right? And for those of you who are afraid of AI taking over the world, Terminators, this just seems like it's... I know that Star Wars is fiction, but is it really fiction? And with that, the Death Star would actually be a pretty cool character to be added to the game, especially if it was like a mini Death Star. Just a little tiny one, and it had like a super laser and could like come down from gravity and like smash a person. That would be awesome. But if we're gonna be complete here, the Death Star as a droid character, not as likely as the Death Star as a ship, because let's face it, it was a battle station, hence a battleship. Now, I'm thinking possibly, I don't know. Probably not. If we get anything with the Death Star in this game, it's most likely going to be a ship raid. That would be really cool, and quite possibly the only way that a Death Star could be added to this game and make it work. I don't know. That would be kind of cool, though. Now, moving on, and this is one of my favorite characters, the Gonk, the G&K series power droid. Now, you've seen this character appear in a number of different areas. He was in the original trilogy. We saw him, I want to say, even in Rogue One. What I want this character is because every time this character needs to go, or every time this character takes a turn, you're going to hear one of those like tubas start playing. That would be hilarious. Then also, if it were ever stunned, it would just fall over. You know, just flip vertically. It wouldn't, you know, go the spinny, sparkly thing that we see currently as a stun. It would legitimately just turn 90 degrees. I think that would be awesome. It wouldn't have an attack, or if it did, it wouldn't be a very strong attack. I don't know, maybe it would be like an Imperial probe droid which just blew up. I think that could be the case. I don't necessarily know, but I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting to see the Gonk droid appear in this game. Now, moving on. Now, I'm actually really surprised this character's not in the game yet, and that is C-3PO. 3PO, like before when the game first started, it kind of makes sense because 3PO is not an attacker. Everyone in this game has been an attacker, with the exception of like Yoda. You know, Yoda doesn't attack, and now that we have a character like Yoda that doesn't attack, or Hermit Yoda that doesn't attack, it doesn't make sense that we won't have, eventually at least, a C-3PO. Now, whether that's the case or not, I mean, I'm sure that people would riot. I don't think as many people would riot over C-3PO as they would over like Jar Jar Binks, Who knows? I do think 3PO would be a solid character. He would be like R2-D2. He'd have a lot of synergy across different areas of the game. He'd be Galactic Republic and Rebellion and Resistance. He'd be a droid. He'd be a support character. I think there's a lot of potential for a 3PO character added. Now, if it were 3PO with like a red arm, then he wouldn't be then he'd just be Resistance. If it were gold 3PO, I don't know, gold 3PO with like a shiny leg or a specific leg, who knows? Who knows? What I'm saying is he needs to be added to this game. One, because I feel like there's not enough shaming going around. In a character like 3PO, his main ability should be to shame other characters. I don't know. There's a lot of potential for 3PO as a support character, but I'm not entirely sure how it would work or where it would work. I don't know if we'll get a 3PO as a Resistance character and they'll be added at the next movie, or if we'll get a 3PO in the form of a Rebellion character. I'm not entirely sure. It would be cool with the inevitable Clone Wars era rework, the Separatist rework. We could see a 3PO added. That's possible. Whether it's likely or not, I'm not entirely sure. Moving on. Now, here is the next one, and I think this is the one that most people want in the game. Whether you commented on this or not, it is Forlom. Now, Forlom was a seriously bad bounty hunter. He worked with Zuckuss. They kind of had this like duo going. He was in the original, the original trilogy. He was there with Darth Vader and all the other bounty hunters, and he is definitely a character that I think that would be a lot of fun. He's a droid. He's a bounty hunter, which would then give another cool droid connection to IG-88. I don't think they'd introduce Forlom without introducing Zuckuss, which I think would be really cool. I think that this would be a really neat character added to the game. I think the more bounty hunters we get, the more likely we'll eventually get something like a raid heist. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think using your raid characters or using your heist characters to take on a raid boss. I think that would be really sweet. I do think that eventually Forlom and Zuckuss will make their way to this game. In what form, in what fashion, I don't necessarily know. When, who knows? Now, I've been looking at my game, and it looks to me like Dengar is August's monthly character. If Dengar's August's monthly character launch, it is possible that we could see Forlom and Zuckuss added sometime between now and the end of the month. Who knows? Now, moving on, the next character, while not canon anymore, would be really freaking cool. Proxy. For those of you who've played The Force Unleashed, you've seen this character. He is someone who takes on the form of other people to attack his opponent. He's meant to be used as a training droid to help Galen Merrick go through and develop his skills and hone his skills so he can fight Jedi and, do Darth Vader's bidding. This would be really cool because I think there's a lot of abilities out there that he could copy, that he could tweak, and it would make having him on any team incredibly valuable because he would be able to steal an opponent's ability probably for a certain amount of turns. He could steal I don't necessarily know how this would work. I do think it's possible that this character being introduced to the game would make the droid team just overpowered, because if he could steal other players' abilities, other characters' abilities, that just leads to a lot of potential death, destruction, and fan infuriation. Fans being frustrated. That's what it leads to. Fans being angry. Not because he's great, but because he's so great. He's so awesome that it would just be tough. The last character that I want to go into, and the last character that I really kind of hope that we do get, this would play for a number of different areas of the game, specifically droids, obviously, because we're talking about droids, but also separatists, and potentially also as a fleet commander, a fleet captain. Now, this is the super tactical droid. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is a character that was introduced in the Clone Wars. It's a droid that was created by the Confederacy of Independent Systems military forces. And it's essentially this super... It's like Thrawn, but in droid form. And it was really, really cool. Now, there was one specific droid, which would be kind of neat if we got a pronounced character, right? Not just super tactical droid, but Kraken. Kraken was a superior tactical droid used by the Confederacy during the Clone Wars. He fought against Anakin. He participated in a number of different places. It would be cool to see this character. It would be cool to see this droid added. It would be more cool, it would be super sweet if he was not only added, but added, like if he not only had like a separatist leadership ability, but a separatist leadership ability that specifically targeted droids, like that made them faster and stronger and, you know, so on and so forth. It would be really cool to see that, you know, see his ability if it were coupled with like a B1 if and when it were introduced to the game. You know, all B1 units, you know, increase this. All Magna Droid units increase this. You know, all whatever. And just go through. I think that would be really sweet. Maybe give characters evasion. Maybe give characters, you know, foresight or blind or something to that extent, because he could not just predict the future necessarily, but read his opponent and so on and so forth. I think that would be really awesome. Now, these have just been droids that you are looking for as players of the game, as holotable heroes. And what did I miss? I'm sure I've missed a lot of droids out there. There have been some really great ones over the past. There are some great books that include droids that are just phenomenal. Did I miss one that you liked? Leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.